So my favorite Christmas memory revolves around family gatherings. Coming from large families on my dad's side, we would get together with his side of the family. There were 4 siblings that my grandmother and grandfather raised. So we called them, Mama Helen and Pap, Papaw Paul. His nickname was Pap, and that's where I got the name for myself with my grandchildren. So they can either call me Pap or Poppy, and I answer both because it was that environment that meant so much to us as kids growing up when you're in a house full of all of your family. So you got 4 siblings there, and then their spouses, and then all my cousins, and you put us together in this small little house, and the atmosphere, there's just so much fun to the atmosphere. When I think about Christmas as a child, I don't even remember the gifts as much as I remember just everybody being together. You take that then on my mother's side of the family, and John and Ruby Tinsley had 10 children that they raised. And so we'd go over to Papa John and Mama Ruby's on Christmas Eve, and with those 2, their 10 kids, their spouses, and then all my cousins, there were times we had 70 people in a house that was probably about 1,400 square feet. We were packed in like sardines, but that's what made it fun. It was this craziness of everyone so tight, the community, the connections. My favorite one of any of those memories, though, happened the first year I brought Lisa to experience our family's Christmases. And so we went to the vault side and we experienced that, and she, our eyes are wide open with everybody in the house and all the noise and the fun and the kids running around. Then we go over to the Tinsleys, and when we get to that house and there's 70 people there and everyone's up on top of each other and the environment is awesome. Well, my grandmother Ruby was very mischievous, and we always had a lot of fun and a lot of laughter in that household, and with her especially. She was this little Pentecostal holy roller grandma that loved Jesus with all her heart and could shout and sing praises. I mean, she's fired up, but she also had that mischievous side about her, that she loved pranks and she loved to laugh. And so that first Christmas when Lisa's there and she's trying to get used to the whole situation there with all the people, right? One of my uncles starts coming up the driveway, and the driveway had patches of ice on it. And as my uncle's coming up the driveway, he slips. His feet goes out from under him. He falls flat on his back. My grandmother is the first one out the door. Everybody else is running to the doors and the windows to see if he's okay. And my grandmother yells out, "Glendale, are you okay?" And the moment my uncle said, "I'm all right," Milma was the first one who went to the ground on her knees, dying of laughter. At that moment, everybody in the house starts dying laughing, because that was how our family operated. After they're okay, you just laughed. And they're all laughing. And I remember looking up and seeing Lisa's face. She didn't know how to respond. Her eyes are this big. She's got shock on her face. And she runs to the door, and she just turns around and she looks at all the family and goes, "Isn't someone gonna go help him up?" But no one could go help him up because everyone's dying laughing. And she runs out there to help up this grown man get up off the ice. And we still talk about that moment. We laugh about that all the time. That was one of my favorite Christmas memories.